Hello, welcome back to the library. Today we are going to be doing my August wrap up. I read 14 books this month. I'm going to talk about these books in the order that I have read them. The first book I read was The Return by Rachel Harrison. I really enjoyed this one. Miss Girl knows how to write some horrific stories. Julia reappears after 2 years of being missing, and she comes back a little different. And so her friends are like, let's go on a girls trip to get you back into the vibes or whatever. And so then they go on a girls trip, and then the main character, I forget her name, I think her name's like Elise or something, is like, something is up with Miss Girl Julie. And so then the other friends are like, you might be right about that one, bestie. And so then Julie starts acting some type of way, and they're like, I did not realize that this was Miss Harrison's debut novel because it was really good. I actually really enjoyed it. And as I said before a million times, Rachel Harrison knows how to write good friendships between women, and anything Rachel Harrison puts out I will read. Yeah, and it was also gross, but in like a good way. Like, you know how some horror books are like gross and you're like, ew, oh my god, WTF, like disgusting. It was not like that. Like, there were some disgusting moments, but it was like good, you know what I mean? Like, the girls who get it, you guys get it. Yeah, so I rated that one 4 stars. I don't remember if I said that or not. Next book that we'll be talking about is a graphic novel called Unfamiliar by Haley Newsome. I rated it 5 stars. It's hard for me to not rate a graphic novel 5 stars, I think, because if the art is good, if the story is cute, and if the dialogue is not cringy, it's most likely going to get a 5 stars from me. I forget what her name is. Oh, her name is Planchette, I think. So she moves to a small town, and her house is haunted. And so she's trying everything that she can to get rid of these ghosts. And she tries to help them finish their unfinished business or whatever. And she meets an unlikely friend who's like half siren or whatever. And I didn't realize that this book came out in December 2022. So now I am waiting for the second one. And a lot of the times I read graphic novels from the library or on my Kindle. Actually, every time, because I don't own any graphic novels. The amount of times that I showed you the books on my shelf, you guys know. Obviously, it was cute and it was spooky. It was a good way to kick off the spooky season. Spooky season begins in August, according to me. Sorry, I had to fix my hair because my bun was swelling and I was looking like I had a ponytail on. And I don't do ponytails. I don't mess with ponytails like that. Up next, I read The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, which is going around YouTube as of late. She's the same person who wrote the Inheritance games. And so The Naturals is a book about teens are brought on by the FBI, teens with special abilities specifically, are brought on by the FBI to be in a special program that tries to solve cold cases, you know, whatever. And so Cassie, Miss Girl, is brought on, and she is brought on to be a profiler. And first of all, I do need to reread this book because I remember enjoying it and being really invested in it when I was listening to the audiobook. But now when I try to write my review about it, I was like, okay. Like, I didn't care. Like, I didn't care about it at all. Which a lot of the booktubers I watch are like raving about the series, so I'm wondering if it's like really good. And also the same thing happened to me with the Inheritance games. When I was reading it, I was like, oh my god, this is so good, like the first book, and I rated that 4 stars and everything. But thinking about it now, like, I'm just not into it. Like, I just don't really care. Do you guys ever have that feeling? Let me know if you have that feeling, because I know that I'm not alone in this. I hated the love triangle, and that's what I gotta say about that. And the twist was pretty good. I rated that 3.54 stars. Up next, I read Bob's Burgers, which I read on my 24-hour readathon, and 5 graphic novels were in that series. Bob's just a dude. He owns a burger shop, and he runs it with his family, and his family also, they also live there and run the restaurant. And okay, so Bob's Burgers is a show that has like 14 seasons. If you don't watch it and you like comedy, what are you even doing? You have to get past the first season, because I was in my rewatching Bob's era, which comes around every couple years, and the first season is cringy and it's a little bit offensive. So you have to get past that, because if you think about it, it was 14 years ago when it started, which that was kind of a different time, but not like a completely different time. But the rest of it, I don't know. I'll let you know if it holds up. If you didn't watch the show, you could still read these, but you'd probably be like, okay. Okay, so I rated those anywhere from 3 to 5 stars. I think I rated 3 of them 3 stars, and then 2 of them 5 stars, or 3 5 stars. You know. Next, I read Clique Cute, which I don't really know if I can talk about this, because it doesn't come out yet. It was the arc, and for me, it was not 4, because sports romance, it's a no for me. I'm sorry. First of all, I don't like sports. No offense if you like sports. It's just my opinion. You can like sports. That's fine. Whatever. I don't. Like, honestly, I'm not trying to gatekeep. I literally read the terms and conditions on NetGalley so long ago. I don't remember what I can say and what I can't. I think I just can't say spoilers. I don't know. Whatever. So, Grace is the star of a U.S. soccer team. Phoebe is a new player on the team, and she's admired Grace for years, a little bit obsessed. And so she admired Grace for years, and so now she's like kind of freaking out that her and Grace are like playing on the same team, whatever. And then finds out that, you know, maybe she's gay or whatever. And Phoebe is like a goofy newbie, and Grace is just a B-word. Okay, I would just say it. I did not mess with Grace like that. She was just so jealous for no reason. Like, never mind. I will still read whatever Meryl Wilsner decides to put out next after Clique Cute. And we'll see how that goes, if my opinion changes on them. But for now, I'll read Meryl Wilsner, bestie. I'll read whatever you write. I rated that 2.5 stars. I'm sorry. Mary by Nat Cassidy, 24-hour readathon. What are you even doing? Go watch it. I rated that 4 stars. I feel like it would have been 5 stars for reasons that I explained in the 24-hour readathon. I goofed. So Mary is a older lady who is going through menopause, and so she's having very strange symptoms with it. And so every time she walks past the mirror, she's like seeing things that she does not want to be seeing. Slay, Mary, slay. Nat Cassidy, slay. Okay. First of all, I was putting this book off for quite a bit, because I was like, this book was written by a man. I don't know if I'm gonna like vibe with it being about a woman going through menopause, because like, what is their place, you know what I'm saying? But if you read Mary and you get to the afterword, the author explains like his thought process for writing the book. Yeah, so some parts were truly horrifying of that book. The one part with the porcelain babies, and the other thing. If you read Mary, you know. And if you didn't, literally, it's spooky season. What are you even doing? Read it. Thank you, Bestie Michaela, for convincing me to read this, finally. His&Hers by Alice Feeney. Okay, first of all, what was this book even about? I read this in my 24-hour readathon as well. And Alice Feeney is a hit or miss for me. Like, literally hit or miss. I read Rock, Paper, Scissors, and I rated that 2 stars, like, a while back. And then this book, His&Hers, I rated that 2 stars. But Daisy Duck, I rated 5 stars. Hello? So, a woman is murdered in a British village. And that's all that I said, because I was so done with writing about this book. I just didn't like it. The characters didn't hold my memory. They were all terrible. Oh my god, Rachel. I did not mess with her. I didn't vibe with this book. Check trigger warnings for real, because it was giving me the egg heavy, and I was almost a little bit like. And for me, I have like a few trigger warnings, I guess, but they make me upset, but not in a way where it would like affect me. You know, like I would just be mad and be like, ew, WTF, like what is going on? Why would you say that? Like I'll be like that, but not like mentally traumatized, you know what I'm saying? So check trigger warnings for that, because they're very much needed, I think. Well, Icebreaker. First of all, I did not think, I rated this 4 stars, okay, by Hannah Grace. First of all, I did not think that I was gonna like this. Putting it off for a while, and then I decided, because my sister told me to read this, and I was kind of like, you know, maybe, I don't know. And so I was putting it off for a while, and then I gave her the book back, but I was like, you know what, I'll just pick it up on audio because she wants me to read this book so bad. So I was like, okay, I'll put a hold on the audiobook. Hold came in August, obviously, this is the August wrap-up. And I was pleasantly surprised by how much I actually like this book. First of all, I don't like sports. Second of all, this was a hockey romance, and is it considered a hockey romance? He plays hockey, she's a figure skater. That's such a cute like combination, I think. And Anastasia, aka Stassi, she's a figure skater. Nate is a hockey player. One day, this is a college romance. One day, the ice rink that the hockey players use, something happens to it, it gets destroyed. And so the figure skaters and the hockey players have to share a rink. And Anastasia is like freaking out because she has to be on top of everything. She's on top of her schedule, she's on top of her diet, she's on top of practicing, and she's on top of scheduling spicy times into her schedule. Okay, and so this like throws her off, and she like hates him. She hates Nate at first, and then her bestie boo / partner's also hella controlling and manipulative, and we hate him. Nate and Stassi like warm up to each other, and they start banging in like every chapter. So first of all, this book is very spicy, but the romance is cute. The car scene though, in public, in the Uber, you know what I'm talking about. If you read this book, that gave me the ick. That made me almost give this book 3 stars, because I was like, ew, why would you do that in a car full of people? You know what, I put my hate towards that to the side and continued to rate this 4 stars because I thought it was cute. And I kind of, Nate was like, he was a sweet dude, you know, he was chilling. So the next book I read, The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Is that her name? Suzanne Collins. I read this for my 24-hour readathon. Once again, go check out that video, besties. So 24-hour readathon, I read The Hunger Games. It made me sob. I cried so hard. And there's live footage of me crying if you want to see that in that vlog. What to say about this? Everyone knows what this is about. Each year they picked someone from each district to go fight in the Hunger Games because I don't remember why, but they do it. It's dystopian YA, okay? What more do you want from them? Okay, Katniss, girl boss of the century. Love to see it. Love Katniss, period. I did not. Okay, so I remember, like, throwback to when the movies came out, because I only saw the movies before reading the books. I didn't like Peeta for some reason. I was like, ew, Peeta, what? I think I was just a hater because I really like Peeta in this. And I liked the Peeta and Katniss dynamic. Do I ship them? Absolutely not. The last book I read was Never Saw Me Coming by Vera Kurian. I think it's how you say her name. I'm so sorry, bestie. I read this with my Women's Wrong support group, aka my book club, aka head on over to Fable if you're not in the Women's Wrong support group. If you like women's wrongs, you support women's rights and women's wrongs. That's us because she did nothing wrong. Right. Anyways, so Never Saw Me Coming. Chloe's a student at Adams University who happens to be a psychopath. At Adams, she is one of 7 students who are in a psychopath study research program. So aside from the program, she went to Adams to exact revenge on Will, who is a guy who is specifically a frat boy who has wronged her like very severely in the past. Aside from her, we follow 2 dudes, Andre and Charles, in which they're also in the psychopath program, And I don't think this is a spoiler because I feel like you find this out almost immediately. Andre is a fake. Like, he's not a real psychopath. He's like, I just Googled whatever they wanted the answers to for a psychopath and put them on when I was filling out my diagnosis. The murder takes place, I gotta use quotation marks for this, a deadly game of cat and mouse begins. Okay, first of all, this book was okay. Like, it was okay. It was just okay. I was not super into it because when I started reading it, I was like, okay, this dialogue is cringe. So then I felt like I wasn't gonna like the rest of the book, but I tried really hard to. And I like the concept. I love a concept. I love following psychopaths. But to me, the characters' motives kind of didn't make any sense because if they're supposed to be psychopaths, aka lack of empathy, you know, then why are they doing all this? Like, shouldn't they not care? Well, maybe I was just thinking too much into it. And then there was like a constant contradiction of psychopaths versus like the character's motives. So I was just confused. But I did like the study of the psychopath program and how we followed psychopaths and Miss Girl trying to get her revenge. Slay, we love that. That's that. I rated this book. I'm gonna settle on 3 stars because I keep going back and forth from 2.5 and 3. So speaking of Women's Wrong Support Group, our next read will be How Can I Help You? So excited because I have been waiting to read that book all year or whenever it was announced, and yeah. So if you want to read that with us, head on over to Fable. We have fun over there. We have fun over here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know this probably wasn't like a hee hee ha ha video of mine because, I don't know, I'm just not in it right now. So I feel myself getting into a little slumpy if you know what I mean. Anyway. Put the cat emoji if you watched this to here, and I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. If you want to talk about anything in the comments, if you want to talk about your day, if you want to just say, hey girl, what up, you can do that. I love reading. I love 5-paragraph essays, so, you know, whatever. Just do your thing, and I'll do my thing, and then we do our thing. Okay, what am I talking about? Goodbye.